Hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining in the Fit Geek Show. Today I have a very special guest with us, Shihan Pervez Mistry, who has been my guru from the past. I'd say from the time I was 13 years old, and I'm 29 now. So from the past 16 years, he's been my guru. And Shihan Mistry was my first ever karate teacher. He is the pioneer of karate in India. He is the first Indian to ever pass the Japanese instructor's course. He has a number of accomplishments under his name, but he's too humble to not mention them. And Shian Mistry has been in judo as well. He's also been a master fitness trainer from the past so many years, has influenced so many fitness trainers. In fact, he was the one who had pursued me to take up exercise science as a career because I was going to go abroad. So help me welcome Shihan Pervez Mistry. Sensei, thank you so much, and I'm really sorry for this glitch today. To introduce you like this.
Well, we can keep our fingers crossed and hope it opens out and you can see the visual
Yes.
as the others can see the visual as well. Okay.
Yes.
Sure.
Awesome. How are you doing today?
Fine. Absolutely fine. Thanks.
Great. Sensei, thank you so much for addressing us today. I wanted to do this live from a long time. Actually, I wanted to do it in person, but because of the pandemic, I was forced to do this on Instagram live.
Correct.
And so moving on to our episode today, you're going to address us with regards to exercises and posture in Goju Ryu karate. So my first question to you would be, what is the importance of fitness in martial arts, and how have martial arts, particularly Goju Ryu karate, incorporated fitness within themselves?
Well, martial arts and fitness go hand in glove. You can't do one without the other. If you're not fit, you will get fit in training in martial arts. Okay? But basically, this it is helpful to think about physical fitness in relation to martial arts training in the specificity of training. By that I mean, if you're, for example, if you're a sprinter, right, you'll do heavy weight training, get power in the legs, power in the whole body. You won't do plyometric training, which a marathon runner would do, right? So the same way in martial arts, we incorporate all the aspects of fitness, which basically is divided into many different categories. We have cardiovascular fitness or aerobic fitness. We have strength training, right, as against power training also. So you have two different forms of strength and power. Then you have flexibility, you have balance and coordination. So all these aspects come into the gamut of martial arts in general. Okay, but again, there is differentiation in between the martial arts. For example, a judoka would train in heavyweight training because it consists of grappling and throwing your opponent and grappling on the ground. Karateka, on the other hand, also grapples, but that is not the main forte. The main forte is kick, punch, block. So agility is very important. Speed is very important. Strength and power is very important too. And in order to understand this, no matter what your level in whatever sport you're doing, you have to undergo fitness training alongside it. So, if you're, for example, if you're doing punches, which employs the whole body, basically, when you're punching something, right? But also, it mainly focuses on the shoulder, the chest, the lats, the back, the scapulae, the rotator cuff, all right? The flexors, the extensors of the arm, right? And the positioning of the fist. Okay? So all these aspects go hand in glove, so to speak. And in our system of training, we have all the components of fitness. Basic actions give you cardiovascular fitness. When you're doing 100 punches, 100 kicks, 100 blocks, right? This increases your cardiovascular capacity. When you do this in
Correct.
movement, karate is
Hmm.
not stationary. You don't stay in one place and fight a person. You're moving all the time.
Hmm.
Okay?
Hmm.
So when you're moving, it compounds, it increases your cardiovascular fitness,
Correct.
right? Okay.
Hmm.
Strength training comes from the millions of repetitions you do, thousands, hundreds of thousands of repetitions of the same action every single training session.
Hmm.
Okay. Regardless of your level of expertise, you can be a white belt or you can be a very senior black belt. All right. I
Hmm.
do basics along with my students every single basic turn. Right. I'll explain that a little later.
Hmm.
Uh, then you have, for example, you have for power training, we have what we call Hojo Undo, which is
Hmm.
supplementary training. Okay.
Hmm.
Supplementary training, and this includes different implements like Chi-Shi, Kongo-Ken. Again, I'll explain those implements a little later down the line, so to speak.
Yes.
Uh, and you have flexibility, which we use active and passive flexible exercises, so to speak,
Hmm.
flexibility. And the active is done in the warm-up, whereas the passive is done in the cool down. Okay, and we also
Hmm.
use a lot of PNF stretching in the cool down,
Okay.
especially for people who have slight tight shoulder blades or tight back, lower back, problems
Hmm.
with the lower back. I have students
Hmm.
who've been with me now for the last 40 years, regularly training every single term. Okay,
Hmm.
and you know some of them, Neville,
Yes.
Shekhar, Paresh, and all the rest
Yes.
of it. Z, Z, of course. So
Yes.
all these people have been there for the last 35 plus years. Okay, and
Hmm.
they're training, they're doing the same thing I'm doing every single day of my life, practically. Okay, in fact, this pandemic has given me a little more free time in that I can do my own training far more often than I could
Hmm.
otherwise.
Hmm.
Uh, then you have right. For example, let me just very shortly uh, explain the differentiation between strength training and power training. Okay, for strength training,
Yes.
I would do 3 minute rounds, 3 3 minute rounds of against the heavy back.
Hmm.
Okay, this would give me a lot of strength in my kicks, in my punches, in my blocks. Okay, in my strikes, right? Whereas if I wanted power, I would hit the makiwara just 10 times, maybe once, but every single time with all the power in that one punch. Okay,
Correct. Hmm. Hmm.
right. So that would be power training. Okay, using the entire
Okay.
body power, the whole body, right from my toes right up to my head and neck,
Hmm.
would be utilized uh, in just that one punch on the makiwara
Hmm.
post or
Hmm.
the hitting wooden hitting post that we have.
Hmm.
So it incorporates all these aspects and most importantly balance and coordination. This comes in the field of kata, where you're
Hmm.
moving. Okay, and kata is basically choreographed forms, right?
Correct.
Which have been choreographed by teachers 500 years ago and down the line, experts in their own field, right?
Right.
And in fact, Sanchin, which is the breathing kata, is
Hmm.
also one of the oldest katas there is, as is Sevenchin also, for example, which is the self-defense kata. So
Hmm.
you have these, and these katas, you're moving, in some of the katas, you're moving very fast, and there's the timing, a cadence that has to be observed between the attack,
Hmm.
the defense. So you're using isometric and isotonic movements all the time.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay. Uh,
Hmm.
so having said that, I think that explains uh, the your question of how does martial arts incorporate fitness. and we
Correct.
incorporate fitness in all aspects, right? Like, for
Yes.
example, we would do Sugiwaza, okay, that is punching technique. Then I'd make
Hmm.
them do 30, 40 power press-ups, okay? Then we do 10 press-ups with a push-up, like a push-up, okay? Push-up with the clap hands, push-up with the chest clap, touch
Hmm.
chest and go down again, all right? So that again
Correct.
would be plyometric training, okay?
Hmm.
Increasing your strength potential, all right?
Hmm.
Then we do another type of push-up, which would be isometric. So what you do is you start up in the push-up position on your knuckles.
Hmm.
We never let the kids do knuckle push-up,
No. Correct. Hmm.
okay? Because they're still
Hmm.
growing, the bones haven't formed, right?
Hmm.
So it would be detrimental to them to do that. So after 16, 17, then we start knuckle push-up,
Okay.
okay? The other aspect, okay, so we also do isometric push-ups where you hold the position for 10 seconds. Then
Hmm.
you come down 1 inch. You just lower yourself 1 inch. You hold another 10 seconds. Again, lower yourself
Hmm.
1 inch. Hold yourself another 10 seconds until you're all the way down. So you held each successive position. It takes about 10 of these movements to get to the bottom
Hmm.
position. Okay, so that's
Okay.
nearly 100 seconds you've done over there. And then you do
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
same thing coming up. 10 seconds hold out, 1 inch, another 1 inch up, 10 seconds hold out, another 1 inch up. So you're training both isometric and isotonic. So I
Correct.
think
Hmm.
that answers your question in full, so to speak.
Yes. 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 For sure. Awesome, Sensei. And speaking of posture, why is posture given so much importance by you and Goju Ryu Karate in general while practicing the art?
Uh, okay, two most important factors in any endeavor in life, basically, when it comes to health and fitness, right, is
Hmm.
breathing and posture.
Hmm.
Okay, you don't breathe, you die.
Hmm.
That simple as that. Okay, and you
Correct.
don't breathe well, you lower your longevity spell. Okay, all right.
Hmm.
So breathing is very important, as we all know. Posture, we are all born with perfect posture. You see a newborn baby or a 6 month old baby, it'll have a perfect cadence of breathing. It's breathing from the tummy, from the diaphragm,
Hmm.
as well as from the chest. It's using the entire diaphragmatic unit
Hmm. Hmm.
to breathe. The tummy, the diaphragm, chest, everything, right? And head is held correctly in relation to the spine. Okay, whether he's on his fours or whether he's lying down or whether he's flipping over, that breathing never stops. That perfect breathing never stops. When he starts
Hmm.
sitting up and toddling around, posture is still perfect. Unfortunately, as he grows up, he loses this natural ability of innate perfect
Hmm.
posture by
Hmm.
looking at our parents, by looking at our peers and aping them subconsciously. You're not even aware that you're doing it.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
your father has a stooped shoulder, you automatically start walking like that with a stooped shoulder, right? Because you're
Correct.
looking up. He's your God at that time, at a certain point of life.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. He's everything to you. Okay,
Hmm.
so it's very natural for you subconsciously to emulate him. Somebody you look up to, your peer. The same
Hmm.
thing. If he has a springy step, you'll also start walking with this springy motion.
Hmm.
So unfortunately, most uh, in fact, all professionals in the field of sports, fitness, you see the posture. Dancer, perfect posture. Yoga
Hmm.
practitioner, perfect posture.
Yep.
Especially Ashtanga yoga. Okay,
Hmm.
Ashtanga and Iyengar yoga, perfect posture,
Hmm.
super. All right. Uh, Martial artists, all martial arts. Unfortunately, as I keep telling my students, martial art doesn't end and begin in the dojo. Martial arts is throughout 24/7.
Correct.
One of the things 24/7 that goes hand in glove is the breathing and the posture. Okay. A lot of people come up to me and say, my knees are hurting, my back is hurting. I've gone to the doctors, I've gone to the physiotherapist, but nothing seems to work. Okay.
Hmm.
I look at him, I correct the posture. 3 days later, he comes back and says, there's no pain. Okay. So this
Hmm.
has happened time and again. The other factor is posture is so important because if you have an uncoordinated body, like if, for example, if you a simple technique, simple explanation I'll give you is your quadriceps, that's the front thigh muscle, right?
Hmm.
As against your hamstring. Okay. Now
Yes.
all our movements are normally geared forward. Everything we do is in a forward momentum.
Hmm.
Okay. Unless we make the effort to equally strengthen the hamstrings, and if the hamstrings are not strengthened to 80% of your
Hmm.
quadriceps, it
Hmm.
will shorten. The muscle will shorten, it will atrophy. It will lose
Hmm.
its tenacity and strength. That will pull on your gluteus muscle, which is your butt
Hmm. Hmm.
basically. All right? Both
Correct.
the all three aspects, the medius, the minimus, and the gluteus maximus. This in turn will then start slowly recurring up the back. And your erector spinae muscles, which are your muscles along your spine that come down,
Hmm.
will get weak. And then the spine's
Hmm.
taking the strain, not the muscle. The spine's
Hmm.
not supposed to take the strain. It's there to give you balance and mobility. It's
Hmm.
not there to take the strain. Muscles are there to take the strain. Right?
Correct.
Similarly, as are the joints. The joints are for mobility and movement, not to take the strain. I have seen so many people doing exercises with locked knees, where the patella is jammed.
Hmm.
Okay, there's no movement in the patella. It's not relaxed, right? And this creates a whole palathria of injuries, and you can get a strained injury in the neck because of locked knees,
Hmm.
and it can also affect your ankles. So posture is very, very important. So having said that, also, one more point I'd like to stress on
Hmm.
is the compatibility between the different areas of your body. For example, your lower body and your upper body, that means from the waist up and the waist down, should be equally strong. Okay, right?
Correct.
Uh, your core. Most people think of core as just the abdominal. Not true.
Correct.
The core works all the way from your shoulders right down to the back of your knee. All muscles involved over here are core muscles.
Yes.
Okay, right? I mean, you're an exercise physiologist. I shouldn't be telling you this, but this is more for the others who are listening. So,
I mean, Sensei, you would be surprised. There are so many fitness trainers even now who, when they talk about core, they're just making people do abs. That's all. It's so bad. Yeah. So I'm glad you brought this up again.
okay. Yeah, I've seen that too. Unfortunately, I've seen that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a student once, he used to come to my gym. He was an instructor in one of the very big gyms also. No
Hmm.
names mentioned. Uh,
Yeah.
and he used to tell all the people, give them all these technical terms and medical terms about the muscle. Okay. And I asked him once, I said, my gastrocnemius muscle is really hurting. What do I do to relieve it? Can you give me some uh, advice? He says, yeah, eat
Hmm.
less. Eat less. He thought the
Okay.
gastrocnemius muscle was in the stomach.
Oh God. Oh
So
God.
there you have it. Okay.
Oh,
All
oh,
right.
I can't just believe believe what you just said. Oh, wow.
Right.
Okay.
Anyway, plus, uh, I would say close to 90% of aches and pains, which are not related to injuries or diseases, right, are posture related. And unfortunately, even most doctors and physios and, like you said, physios and uh, therapists, right?
Mm-hmm.
Work. If you say there's something wrong with my knee, they'll give you exercises essentially for the knee, but they forget the
Mm.
bigger picture, the whole body.
Correct.
What's the whole body
Mm.
doing in relation to the knee, right? So that is very important to understand. So I would say fitness, uh, I mean, posture and breathing are the two most important aspects for good health, longevity,
Mm.
and excel in any endeavors of fitness and health, whether it's just calisthenics, whether it's football, whether it's tennis, right? As long as your posture is concerned and your posture is looked after, and you look after your posture consciously,
Mm.
it has to be a conscious effort initially
Effort. Mm.
until
Mm-hmm.
it comes gets into your subconscious, and then your shoulders are back, your neck is tucked in, your tummy is tucked in, your glutes are slightly tight. So all the right muscles take the load, and
Correct.
most importantly, you're not fighting gravity.
Mm. Mm.
And understand this: gravity will always win.
Yes, of course.
Gravity will win, no matter what you are, no matter how fit you
Mm.
are. Gravity will win. So always work
Mm.
in accordance with gravity, not against gravity. Let the right
Mm.
muscle take the weight, not the wrong muscle. So if you do an exercise, for example, most of us are either right-handed or left-handed. The very few of us ambidextrous. Okay.
Mm.
So if you're right-handed, do more techniques with the left hand. So you bring the muscle or the performance or the training equal in both your hands. Okay.
Mm.
All right.
Correct.
Same thing with the front and the back of the body. Same thing with the upper body and the lower body. Same thing with the right side and the left side. Okay.
Mm.
So all these aspects of posture are so very important, but given neglected to such an extent, I feel sad. I feel like crying sometimes.
I
All
totally
laughing,
understand what you're saying.
all laughing. So yeah, so people with kyphosis, people with lordosis, they don't realize the damage they're doing to their body.
Mm.
Or a flat back, for example. Okay, so
Correct.
there you have it. Uh, so that's the reason why uh, posture and breathing are so very very important.
Wow. That was this quite in depth of an answer. Shihan, what are the different components of a Goju Ryu karate session each time you train your students?
So,
What are the different components of one session?
okay, the components of one session basically, uh, karate has so many techniques. It's impossible to do
Mm.
all the techniques in that one session unless you're having a training
Correct.
camp, which we call a gashaku,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? Because in the gashaku, you're training practically the whole day. In when we go abroad
Correct.
and we train under Sensei Higaona, my teacher, and
Hmm.
a superb person I've yet to come across. Uh, we train for 5 hours. So there are various aspects of karate taken care of, most of them anyway, right?
Hmm.
Uh, Similarly, when I take a gashku in India, over here, we do a whole
Hmm.
day training. So 3 hours in the morning, or maybe 4 hours in the morning, or 1 hour early morning for calisthenics and warm up type of thing. Then basic,
Hmm.
then another 3 hours in kata, then another 3 hours down the line on hojo undo,
Hmm.
which is supplementary training, etc. So all these aspects are taken care of. Basically, on a regular day-to-day basis, like I'm taking my Zoom classes also over here, and what we do is we bifurcated Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So
Hmm.
Monday is pure basic technique. The basic block, the basic attacks, repeated again and again and again and again. Okay. They say it takes you 10,000 repetitions to learn how to punch.
Correct.
It's only at the end of 10,000 repetitions that the punch is fluid, that you
Yes.
don't
Yes.
think about the punch. It happens without your conscious thought. It just happens. The same thing happens with the blocks and your kick. So all these techniques and then taken in moving. As I said, karate is movement. You don't stay in one place and fight. So, and there are stances. There are different stances. Okay? So each stance works a different area and is for a specific purpose.
Correct.
Like the cat stance is for high agility drill. You're moving, somebody comes at you from the back, and you suddenly shift aside in the cat stance. So it's like a cat, front, here, there, everywhere. And so there you have agility, you have balance, you have coordination, and you have both strength training also because of the number of repetitions you're doing with every technique. Okay. Yeah. So that's on Mondays. On Wednesdays we do kata. Kata is prearranged forms. Now there are three types of kata categorization: the basic beginner kata, all right. Then you have the self-defense kata, okay, which teaches you self-defense technique, okay, and every single movement within the kata is for a specific purpose, okay, all right. Like, for example, imagine a confrontation on the street. Okay, if you show a person two clenched fists, like like a on guard stance, right? Yeah, exactly like that. So he's going to get angry, and he's going to get angry. He's going to lose his cool. He'll probably punch you. But why is he punching you? Because you have instigated him to punch you. Because you have put your hands up. But if you clap your hand across your groin area and give a slightly tilted, slightly tilted movement of your body position, you're in a totally relaxed posture, and this your posture then reflects on him. So even if he's shouting at you and he sees you standing like this, like a meek old man, he's not going to, get violent. Okay, right? So this form of posture understanding is very important. So every single thing, plus if he does attack you, and you've got your hands over here, if he attacks him on the face area, your hand can come up and block him. If he attacks you in the groin area, your hands can go down and block him. If he tries to kick you, if he tries to grab you, you can just spread your hands out and stop him from grabbing you and push him back, right? So so kata is very, very important to understand, and it is only through this that we develop what we call the sixth sense. Okay, you've heard of the sixth sense, right?
Yes.
How do you develop it? It's through the katas that you develop it. By doing that kata hundreds and thousands and millions of times, literally. Okay, what happens is that the cerebral cortex, right, and the hypothalamus, which is basically your lizard brain, so to speak, right, and is instrumental in fight or flight response in a serious situation, in a confrontation situation. Okay, you either freeze or you run or you fight. There's nothing else. Okay. It is this training of the katas that constantly develops this pure instinct, right? If somebody, to a layman, a person sitting down, another person says hi, and just swipes his hand across your eyes, your instinctive reaction is what? To close your eyes.
Correct.
Right? Okay, so you just blink your eyes immediately. This is natural instinct. Nobody's
Hmm.
taught you to blink your eyes if somebody comes close to you, or if he pokes his fingers in your eye, right? This is
Hmm.
natural. You don't have to think about it. It's an
Hmm.
inbuilt reflex response,
Hmm.
correct? With the
Hmm.
training, then automatically over about 2, 3 years of time, somebody punches you,
Hmm.
your hand goes up and you block them.
Correct.
A few more points, a few more years down the line, you'll not only block them, but you'll counter-attack and attack them.
Hmm.
A few more years down the line, you will know exactly what he's going to do even before he does it.
Hmm.
And this is all thanks to your kata training, nothing else.
Okay. Hmm.
Okay? So the third aspect of kata is breathing.
Hmm.
And this is more for health, okay, rather than a self-defense aspect. But it can be used also for a self-defense aspect. And there are
Hmm.
two types of katas that we have in our system for breathing. One is called Sanchin,
Hmm.
which means 3 battles. And unfortunately, the video is not working. Otherwise, I'd show everybody my book. Yeah.
Oh, that's yeah, for sure. Next time it's gonna work for sure. I'm sure. So next time we'll surely see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's 3 battles. And now I'm doing a lot of research on Tensho. And hopefully, maybe in the coming years, I'll come out with the book on Tensho. But that's still
Awesome.
quite some time away. So there's
Hmm.
Sanchin is hard breathing, hard
Hmm.
concept. All right. And Tensho is the soft concept. Now, I can't differentiate between the two with this thing, otherwise it'll be going on for another 4 hours. So
Yes.
maybe we can work on this another time.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Yeah. So, and
Certainly.
then lastly, we have on Fridays, we have Randori or Kumite training. Now, many different forms. Kumite basically is sparring. Okay? There are many different forms of sparring. For the juniors, you have choreographed sparring. So the attacker knows what the defender will do, and the defender knows what the attacker will do. It's called
Hmm.
Yaksuku Kumite or promise fighting. You
Hmm.
don't do anything but
Hmm.
what you're supposed to do, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
repetitive practice of this again enhances your reflex training and instinct. Okay. Then you
Correct.
have free sparring, where your opponent does whatever he wants to, you do whatever you want to, and uh, and if he gets a punch through, you acknowledge it and say thank you because he has taught you a lesson to keep your guard up.
Correct.
Don't get angry.
Hmm.
Don't get angry. There's no reason to get angry. He's taught you a valuable lesson. Learn from it.
Listen. Correct. Hmm.
Okay? And so that's sparring, and there's different aspects of sparring. You have heavy
Hmm.
back training, you have makiwara, all right? And then we come to the supplementary exercises to build more power, more strength, more speed. One,
Hmm.
I'll just give you two on strength training and power training.
Hmm.
One is the tishi.
Hmm.
Tishi is a long
Hmm.
handle attached to a weight at one end. And you do
Hmm.
all rotation exercises of the shoulder joint, uh, of the elbow joint. And this not only develops the shoulder and you're punching and blocking and you're striking attacks, okay?
Hmm.
But it also develops, more importantly, your whole core, whole body core.
Correct. Hmm.
Because the power comes from the whole body.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And power training is always action and reaction.
Hmm.
The whole system of karate is action and reaction. Where one hand is punching you, the other hand is pulling back. So
Hmm.
the more powerful you pull back, the more powerful your hand going out. Okay. So all these movements are incoordinated. Plus, then we have Congo Ken. Congo Ken is a U-shaped tube closed at both ends.
Hmm.
Right? Okay, and no, it's a pipe. Basically, it's a pipe closed at both ends. It's about 5 feet
Hmm.
in length and about
Hmm.
3 feet in width. Okay, it's a long U like that. And normally, what we do is there's sand filled inside.
Correct.
Okay, all right, not full, not blocked with sand, but
Hmm.
just it's about half full, maybe three-quarters
Hmm.
full, right?
Hmm.
Which makes it very unwieldy when you're trying to lift it, exactly like a
Yes.
human body.
Correct.
A human body is also unwieldy. Okay, it's not like
Hmm.
a barbell where you pick up and bench press and like squat and things like that. A barbell is
Correct.
uniform. Okay, this
Hmm.
is very unwieldy. Okay, so we do pushing techniques, pulling techniques, uh, grasping techniques. Okay, and lifting technique. All this, and this develops the whole body power.
Hmm.
Okay, so that's your Kongo Ken. The Nigrigame for gripping strength. These are
Hmm.
vases or jars with the lip where you hold your fingers inside. And this type of grain, remember that Goju Ryu, Okinawan Goju Ryu, the
Hmm.
traditional, not the sports stuff, but the
Hmm.
traditional uh, uh, style, so to speak,
Hmm.
emphasizes close combat or close in fighting. We don't fight at a distance like some of the other styles do. We come in close, or we allow
Hmm.
the person
Hmm.
to come in close and then ram him. Okay,
Hmm.
so uh, so at that point, gripping techniques are very important, and the gripping techniques and strength. Also, if you like grab somebody's hand and go on the ulnar nerve, right, with your little finger, if you have enough strength, you can paralyze the nerve completely.
Correct. Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
under the collarbone, you have a whole plexus of nerves over here. So with
Hmm.
the gripping power, the finger power, you can jab him inside and hold it.
Hmm.
There's not a damn thing you can do about it. Okay. So
Hmm.
so if you attack the vital centers and the pressure points, you need strong fingers. Also, the Nukite technique, the open hand technique, okay,
Hmm.
are far more dangerous than the closed fist technique.
Correct.
But again, for that, you need powerful fingers. So
Yes.
your fingers shouldn't buckle if you hit something.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
Hmm.
So there you have it. Uh, in fact, and the last aspect, uh, kara te do. What does it mean? Kara means empty.
Hmm.
Te means hand. Do means
Hmm.
the will. Okay.
Okay.
So empty hand combat or unarmed combat.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
having said that, with your training, your whole body becomes a weapon. Your head becomes a weapon. Your
Hmm.
shoulders become a weapon. Your knuckles become a weapon. Your open palm becomes a weapon. Your edge of the hand becomes a weapon. Your fingers become a weapon. Your shins become
Correct.
a weapon. Your knees become a weapon. Your elbow becomes a weapon. Your whole body, in effect, becomes a weapon. Okay? So every
Hmm.
time we go abroad and we're going with a group to Okinawa or something, we have to go through security. Everybody gives everybody snide smiles, and when people are searching you and they're looking for weapons, but they can't figure out that your knuckle is the weapon, your finger is the weapon, your knee is the weapon. So it's a little funny sometimes, but that's a karate joke. So, anyway, so this type of training is also twofold. Not only does it become a weapon, but when you train the outside of your hands, the inside of your hands, your shin, okay, against another person or against a hitting post, right?
Hmm.
Like a wooden post or a tree, for example. Uh, and what happens is that in these bones, you form micro fractures,
Hmm.
tiny, tiny fractures. As these fractures heal, they make the bone stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. Okay. We had a student in a demonstration. He demonstrated how strong his shin was. Okay, and he broke a
Hmm.
baseball bat. He broke a baseball bat with his
Wow.
shin.
Was this
So
in India or is it in Japan?
in India,
Oh, wow. Okay.
long, long ago, in one of the
Hmm.
demonstrations. So there you have it. Another student, uh, he was only a green belt at the time, and he came into confrontation with somebody who was attacking him with a screwdriver, large screwdriver. So he
Okay.
just blocked it, and in the blocking action, that guy's hitting action, the person broke his arm, fractured his arm.
Wow. Okay.
So
Not much needed.
that's not needed. Right. So the main, see, in today's world, I'd like to close off with this. In today's world of instant gratification, you want anything, you go to Amazon.com, you go to Flipkart, press a button, pay the money, and you got it.
Hmm.
There's very little physical or mental activity that goes into the process. But if you want to
Right.
learn karate, you learn a lot of things. The art and
Hmm.
science is one. Okay? It makes you disciplined, it makes you conscious that nothing comes easy. You have to work for it if you want to reach that level. All right?
Hmm.
The never give up attitude. Okay?
Right.
You flake out after doing 100 push-ups. And sensei says, one more. Moichido. Moichido. One more time.
Hmm.
So you do one. Then he says Moichido. One more time. Then he says Moichido. One more time. You've done 100
Hmm.
katas and he tells you Moichido. One more time. And you don't give up. You just keep going.
Hmm.
So, and it creates a sense of purpose and compassion and understanding that we're
Hmm.
all human and we all make mistakes. Okay? I'll ask you a simple question. What is the difference between a beginner and a master? What is
You
the
asking me?
Yeah. Well, I'm
Oh,
asking
okay, okay,
everybody. What is the difference
okay.
between a beginner and a master? The master or sensei, in this case,
Hmm.
is that he's made far more mistakes than the beginner has even attempted to do.
Oh, correct, correct. 100%. Yes.
So
Hmm.
there you have it. So I hope everybody enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed talking to them.
Yes, and I really hope that next time Instagram doesn't have any issues like this,
Yeah, me
which
too.
actually I
Me
don't
too.
think it will. Yeah, because it's a delight to watch you, like along with your audio. If your video would have been there, it would have been even superb. But a very informative session, Sensei, and thank you so much for taking the time and addressing us today.
My pleasure. My pleasure. My pleasure.
Thank you so much, and I'll get back in touch with you for the next session we'll have on Monday. So everybody keep waiting and tune in next Monday, same time, 3 p.m. Unless there are any changes, I'll let you guys know. And until then, have a great day.
Hi,
So
everybody
someone
have
is
a great
saying we
day.
want,
One
yes,
more session.
someone, yeah, yes, yeah. And then there's Rajesh, Sensei Rajesh Thakkar, who said, Shihan, your explanation is too good with great details and with fantastic information.
Wow.
Example. Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
Sensei.
you.
Thank you so
Thank
much and
you.
have a great day.
Arigato.
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 Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.